You know, back in school, I used to let some of my friends copy my homework. And I would always say, you can copy it, just make it look different. And in today's video, we're gonna see if Toyota and Lexus did that exact same thing with the Lexus GX and compare it to the Toyota Landcruiser. Now, I've looked at these vehicles exteriorly a few times, but today I actually want to drive them back to back and see if there's a big enough difference or if Toyota just copied Lexus's homework or vice versa. I'm Dustin Mason from Performance Lexus in St. Catharines. Make sure you hit like and subscribe for more Lexus related content. Okay, so being that I'm a diehard Lexus guy, it's rare that I prefer the styling on a Toyota. And I think with the Landcruiser, I don't know if it's just because I look at a GX all the time, like every day, and that this is just different, but I do think I like it a little bit more. We have the Toyota actually spelt out, that's the heritage style grille, with a little bit of like squared off grille happening, a little bit smaller at the top, a little bit bigger at the bottom. We have that front-facing camera. We also have a little bit of that off-road branded fog lights. They say rigid on it. I remember seeing that with the Tacoma as well. I think that's really cool, really rugged. I love these headlights, but I've also seen that like heritage circle headlights. And I think that is really cool. There's lots of dimensions to this front grille. I know I'm gonna overuse the word rugged, but it definitely looks rugged. We have a little bit of texture below that headlight. The daytime running light is super squared off. In fact, a lot of the things on the Landcruiser are sort of squared off. There's like sharp angular lines. We have a little bit of angles here on the hood that's different from the GX, and I'll compare that in a second. Both hoods, I noticed when you're sitting in it, you can really see those vision lines. And it does have a really good height clearance. It's up to like my knees, I guess. And then even underneath that, we have a really big angle to the main chassis with a couple tow hooks exposed. So definitely, it isn't just for show. You can tell that this vehicle can go off-road. Let's compare it to the Lexus. Now, one of the differences, especially in package, is this Lexus isn't like the off-road one. This is not the Overtrail. So comparing it to it, I mean, it already looks lower, and I'm just gonna compare side by side. It pretty much is now. It's not like it's lower chassis, it's just the front bumper, really. It just has a little bit more bumper hang. It goes a little bit further down. It's supposed to be more sleek and less dimensional, I think, with the Lexus. Because again, the Lexus gives you the Overtrail, the premium, the luxury, all the different variances. And this one is supposed to be that city slicker, that city boy, city girl. It is big. It doesn't have, you know, as much of those dimension or sharp lines to it. I do love the daytime running light on the Lexus more. I think that frosted check mark just really does it for me. It's got the triple beam LED headlights. Of course, we have washers for those headlights, as well as we still have fog lights and cornering lights, where I noticed on the Toyota, it doesn't have the cornering lights. It just has the fog lights. But actually, wait, I just noticed, oh, that's nice. I love when I find aero features that actually do something. That's real. So that venting actually does go into the tires and brakes. Not sure with an off-road vehicle why you would need to cool them off like a race car, but I mean, it is what it is. And then the hood lines are different. And that's something that I didn't notice until right now, is that the Lexus and the Toyota do have different hoods. Although standing beside it, there's a lot of other things that are the same. The windshield you'll see is like more of that straight up and down on both of them. However, as you get closer to the hood, this one is like a piano black with lines kind of going front to back. The Toyota, however, is like a textured plastic. So it's a textured plastic with some vents. So that alone makes the two look a lot different. And again, just a little bit more, I don't know, utilitarian on the Landcruiser, where the Lexus, again, having that little bit of painted material here. Oh, also, didn't realize this until we parked. It's a different black. So this is more of the gloss black, which we used to see in like the F Sport. It's like kind of similar to that obsidian color. It's one of the oldest Toyota colors. I have a Toyota Supra that has this color. And then on the Lexus, of course, we have caviar. Lots of deep metallic flake to that color. A little bit nicer for hiding scratches and stuff like that. But the obsidian is that full blacked out look. Okay, talking about the side profile, and I want to start with the tires. So on the Landcruiser, we have a Michelin LTX Trail. It's got that soft little bit, kind of like the Pilot Sports, which reminds me that this is like the Pilot Sport of the off-road tire. Not only is this tire setup different from the GX that's beside me, but it's also different from the Overtrail, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. The fender flares are textured, where on the Lexus are a little bit more of that body color. We got these running boards as well as a plastic piece above that. Again, that's textured. The mirrors are very similar in shape, just a little bit different configured, but I mean, they both have that same signal there. The side profile, you would think that they were twins. It'd be like looking at two twins from the side and being like, oh, which one is which? And that is because of that's really where that platform is going to look familiar. So side profile, if you're not looking at those little details, it might be hard to tell if this is a Lexus or a Toyota. Even though I'm a Lexus guy, I don't find anything wrong with that. It's a side profile that works. It looks great. Why be mad about that? On the side profile of the City Slicking GX, we have a different tire. This one is a Yokohama. Again, a little bit more of that City Slicker type setup here. So a little bit lower profile. The Overtrail one is sick because of the side off, like the off-road tire on the side has like traction all around it. I'm pretty sure it was built for that Overtrail setup. We have fender flares that are painted. So again, a little bit more of that city life. We have a little bit of a silver accent here on the running board. The mirror reminds me exactly of the other, except for one detail. This is funny. The signal here is clear, even though it flashes, it's gonna flash the amber color. The one on the Toyota is actually just amber. It just looks amber. And then all the way to the back, that same exact silhouette and even same ride height as the Toyota. Okay, so going to the back of the GX, we have that big taillight that goes from one side over to the other. It's very three-dimensional. It's got, you know, a little bit of angles to it. It looks super soft. Lexus is just above that. We got a little bit of chrome there with the GX550. We have the doggy window, which I love. You can open that up and have your golden retriever sticking their head out, so when you're at the beach. And then sort of going to the bottom, I mean, there's a little bit of textured plastic here covering kind of where the hitch is, but other than that, it's all painted for the most part. I will say, and I do miss when the GX used to open like a door. This particular one has the 3 rows. So it kind of gives you that flexibility that if you want to bring a couple extra passengers, it pretty much eliminates the trunk after that. Like there's enough for, you know, maybe a 6-pack of beer or something like that, a 6-pack of Coca-Cola, whatever your thing is behind there, but not a lot. When that's down, the trunk is pretty big. We have lots of room back here. You can fold down the seats, power. We have an outlet so you can plug in your cooler, all of those things. But you know, it is kind of nice having that 3rd row sometimes too. So to each their own. Over to the Toyota, and this is one of those details that I think it's just because it's different that I like it, and that's the taillight. Instead of having that bar that goes across, it's its own combination lamp, and it's got this cool like retro, I don't know, reminds me of like the movie Tron or something like that, where it's still got those like retro shapes. And then all the badges on this one are blacked out. So it says Landcruiser, it says Toyota, and then it has the chrome iForce Max. We have a little bit different of a textured plastic here. It's got some grip to it. It's got some squares to it. A little bit of a different color down here too. And that same sort of like protruding piece that's like covering where the hitch goes, I guess. We can open up the golden retriever door, of course, just like the Lexus. And if we look in the back, this one doesn't have the 3rd row. So it doesn't have the 3rd row. Instead, it has sort of like a modular space here, and you can kind of move it around and configure it, and I think slide it out. It actually says handling the board. That's funny. So again, a little bit more of that rugged configuration, and I think it like kind of comes up and slides out. I can't remember. We still have the cooler plug or the outlet here, and again, in this configuration, pretty decent sized trunk without the 3rd row. Sitting in the Landcruiser, I mean, a few things I knew were gonna be the case. Some of the materials and textures and stuff like that are definitely a little bit less Lexus-like than the GX for sure, but that's okay. There's also a few things I'm really impressed about, like the buttons on the steering wheel are super satisfying to use. Okay, so it's a very similar one to like the new RX layout and the GX layout and stuff, where it's kind of like preset screens and you can customize them a little bit. And then I really like this volume knob because you kind of just go up and down like that. I kind of like a physical shaped button sometimes. Also, I noticed in the center we have physical mode. So we have sport, normal, and eco. So we'll put it in normal. And then we have, oh, we can select the different multi-terrain select. So auto, dirt, sand, deep snow, mud, okay. And then we can also do the crawl control. So this is all very similar to the Lexus, or if you wanted to do crawl control, you would do that, and then I think you kind of use that to change the speed. But we'll put it in drive mode for now. Also, some of the other buttons in the center, we have a locking center diff, we have a locking rear diff, we have a stabilizer bar that's like a disconnect. So that's where, like, I know in the GX, it was like an articulation thing where, you know, if you're doing some serious off-road. And the whole point of these off-road buttons, it's not like you're gonna use them in collaboration all the time. It's kind of just like giving you an extra place to go if you need to. Enough talking though, because I'm excited to drive this because I haven't driven it before. Oh, really cool. That's sick. The display on the screen, I forgot Toyota started doing that. And I wonder how I control that. Anyway, so it's a hybrid, don't forget. This is the iForce 4-cylinder hybrid powertrain. Trying it out for the first time. Super smooth. Gonna go over some bumps here. Oh yeah. It's just as solid as the GX. This one has a higher sidewall, so I'm kind of wondering what that's gonna feel like. And I am gonna try it on the highway quick too. Super light steering. Oh, also we should see how these tires feel on the highway. That's something people always ask me. A lot of highway drivers that want a car like this for, like, you know, their weekend, their cottage, stuff like that. I like the dash layout, like buttons and switches. That's something that the industry went away from, and I'm glad it's coming back. Physical buttons are cool. I like physical buttons. I kind of miss those in a lot of luxury cars right now. I love the seating position. I love the hood lines. I always thought that was great that Lexus was doing that with these cars, and Toyota, sorry. Keep forgetting I'm in a Toyota. And now I'm gonna do, this will be my first time actually punching it with this powertrain. It's so smooth. Like that extra hybrid aspect of this powertrain makes it so smooth. Wow, some good gear shifts. Okay, no one's gonna say it's fast, but it's not bad. Another thing, the mirrors are like, I say they're like portrait mode because they're like vertical. You can see a lot with them. A little bit of wind noise, but I think it's just a windy day. Could be the sunroof too, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's decent. Like, it doesn't feel underpowered at all. I don't hear much road noise. Like I said, I hear a bit of wind. We get that regenerative braking. Yeah, it's good. It drives nice. It's really smooth. I wanted to know in this video if we were driving a dressed down Lexus or a dressed up Toyota, and this drives like a Lexus kind of, I would say, with the exception of the interior materials. Even the power is not bad, especially at low RPM. I wonder if they did that on purpose because, like, for off-road, you probably want power low, right? It's good, handling's good. Interior feel is really good too. A little bit of rugged stuff. It's still soft, it's still injected molded plastic. Oh, here's something I love. The volume knob is a separate entity. So instead of being like incorporated, it's way off to the side. The screen is right out of a Lexus for sure. It's got all the safety features. I don't know about proactive drive assist, but I can find out later. It's almost like a package of the GX. It's like if you want the entry level package of the GX, you get a Landcruiser. And if you don't want to feel bad, because it's so much less expensive. If you're afraid to, like, you know, do anything that's gonna scratch it, maybe this is the way you go. It'll be interesting to compare it to the GX. And those tires, like going over these bumps, I think take up a lot of it. Okay, so here we go. Overall, drives very similar to a Lexus. We have some different materials, like I do like the Toyota steering wheel. I like that there's buttons here. I think that's great. The cruise control, all that stuff. Even the materials inside, they're definitely less soft than the Lexus, but not in a terrible way. Still has a lot of the same features. Even bird's eye view is standard on this package, which is great. We have all the off-road stuff kind of within reach. And again, just, you know, it makes sense. And the powertrain, I'll see when I drive the GX right now, but it wasn't too bad. So let's see. Okay, so now in the GX, already I see some homework that is for sure copied. That's that dash, the multi-display. It's the exact same. The buttons on the steering wheel are different, for sure. They're a different material. It's funny that, like, some buttons are higher quality than others, but it doesn't matter a whole lot. But the screen itself, that's the exact same screen. And even paying attention to, like, the buttons on the side of the steering wheel to the left, they're the same buttons. Sorry, they're the same features, but they're configured differently. So Lexus and Toyota did think, okay, we can't just have them all the same. They move them around a little bit. So that's interesting. On the GX, we have the heads-up display. We have, again, even the shifter, which is same way it works, is just different though. It just, like, it does it differently. We have the high-low switch. We have the locking differential switch. Those are all condensed. Now this one, I think isn't gonna have as much off-road just because it's the premium package. Oh, but it still does that little screen, just like the Toyota. The material's way different. Like we have, you know, some brushed aluminum, we have some wood grain, we have a lot softer leather, although the seats in that Landcruiser were still pretty good. But let's do it back to back. This will be interesting. I don't know how many people get to do this, so I think we're pretty lucky. Yeah, equally as smooth. Why does it feel a little bit smoother? I'm gonna go over that same bump. That's interesting. I thought for some reason, this is silly, but I thought this one would feel a bit more rugged because of it's like a lower profile tire, but it's equally as smooth. I think that's just how fine-tuned these cars are. A little bit different screen setup too. The Toyota one is a little shorter and wider because it doesn't have the heated and cooled seats and like the climate stuff built in. It had that separate panel for it. So that's a little bit different, sort of like right in the center there. Also the volume knobs in the middle at the bottom. Both have bird's eye view. The heads-up display is nice, I do like that. The power is different because this is not a hybrid, don't forget. This is a turbo 6. It's got a nice grunt to it. I've had a couple people say they wish it was gruntier, but maybe just for fun, maybe we put it in sport mode. Let's do sport mode. Why not? Ooh, it's got a good throaty intake. It's a smooth engine too. For being non-hybrid, it's still really smooth. All right, the power is gonna feel a lot different, I think, getting on the highway. Let's see. And there's an officer, so we always obey the speed limit, people. It's not crazy, guys. It's not a crazy difference. It is different, and it's a really smooth V6. Yeah, it's not super crazy. It's a nice get up and go. I can see the hood has a little bit of the wind shake. We read all about that online. It's not a big deal. When you see most hoods, they all do that. It's just this hood you can see more of. And I like that. I like that you can see more of the hood. I think it's a bit quieter. I do think it's quieter. I don't know if this is a placebo effect, but I just did the same stretch of highway on both the Landcruiser and the Lexus. And what I noticed was there wasn't as much wind. I have the sunroof open the exact way, or like just the shade. I went the same speed. Maybe I got a little bit more engine noise out of this. Could be the glass or something, who knows, right? Or sometimes Lexus will just have a bit more insulation than the Toyota counterpart. We noticed that with RX. When I worked at the factory for RX, we one time got a shipment of door lock cables that were supposed to be for the Highlander. And the only difference, they were the same size, they could fit into the same space as the RX, or sorry, yeah, RX and the Highlander. The only difference was the RX had foam on the outside of the door lock cable, just to give it a little bit extra insulation. That could be what's happening here. I don't know, it could be something like that. I will say I like the engine sound of the GX better. A little bit of turbo lag, but it's good, yo. That sounds great, and it feels good. I like this engine better. The Landcruiser would be more fuel efficient for sure. So if you're driving a lot in the city, that could be a big difference. So yeah, I mean, exactly what I thought. It's got higher quality materials on the inside, surprisingly a little bit smoother sound, I guess. Even in sport mode, I was in sport mode that whole time. But they're close. The two of them are close. There's no doubt about it. Okay, so I figured it out. It's not that the Toyota or the Lexus are copying each other's homework, because that implies that they're trying to be something they're not. The Landcruiser is almost just another package of the GX, or vice versa. You could think the Lexus GX is just the luxury package of the Landcruiser. And it kind of reminded me, because for many years, Landcruiser was like its own sub-brand of Toyota. You rarely thought of it as a Toyota Landcruiser, you thought of it as a Landcruiser. In a lot of markets, the Landcruiser was like the same price as our Lexus equivalent here. So this is where I come down to. If you like the luxury features, if you like the luxury look of like a premium or luxury package GX, you should go with the Lexus. If you like that turbocharged V6, go with the Lexus. It's got a great grunt to it. I did love that get up and go. Hands down, that's my favorite part. If you want a little bit better fuel economy, a little bit more ruggedness with those fog lights, especially the amber-based ones, and something that's still a lifestyle luxury vehicle, the Landcruiser might check all those boxes off. So to me, no one is copying anyone's homework here. They're both really great at what they do, and it's amazing that as a consumer, you have the choice between the two of them. I'm Dustin Mason from Performance Lexus in St. Catharines. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments, which one you would choose, the Landcruiser or the Lexus GX. And again, a big shout out to Performance Toyota for letting me borrow this brand new Landcruiser. I'm sure it's gonna go to a good home. And if you're looking for one, those guys would be a great place for you to stop.